Hi, welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Resident Evil 8, which is called Village. Now, they don't say that it's Resident Evil 8, but as you can see, there is a slight clue here in the actual logo for the game, which is brilliant because that was obviously a Roman numeral of 8. So, Resident Evil Village, it is, but it is actually Resident Evil 8. But they haven't called it Resident Evil 8, but that's another story. So, what is it all about? Will fans like it? It's due to come out, I think it's the 7th of May 2021. There's been lots and lots of demos out for it and various other things, but is it going to be as good as Resident Evil 7? Let's find out.
It's just a local tale.
So, Resident Evil Village. Let's have a look at exactly what it is all about. It uses the RE engine, which was used in Resident Evil 7. It's a powerful, versatile gaming engine, and is, as you can see from these images here as well, photorealistic images and the fantastic lighting. You'll know if you've played the game and ran up various dark corridors with a torch of sorts, and how the lighting is really brilliant for a horror game. It works extremely well, and it makes it really look amazing and very unsettling as well, which is what it is all about. Because remember, this is a horror game. This is a game that's supposed to give you a bump in the night. It's supposed to make you, a little bit unsettled. And I think that the RE engine does exactly that, and does that extremely well. So the other thing that they have is lots and lots of new monsters. Now, some fans might think, I'm not really sure about this, but you've got to remember, Capcom are really trying to expand the horror universe that they have developed with all of the Resident Evil games. And there is some new monsters, and there's one beast that does appear that appears to be a werewolf. Although people may be surprised that it's a werewolf, if you know anything about Resident Evil and the history of the comics, going back to, I think it's the 90s, there was a werewolf featured in a comic back then as well, and it is a horror genre. So they wanted to expand their world as such. They wanted to expand what it looks like. They wanted to make more of the audience that they have, and give you more as a fan of Resident Evil, which I think personally is a good thing, because horror isn't just about one particular genre. You should expand it, and it makes it more exciting when you're playing. And obviously, if there's more monsters and more beasts to try to come and get you, then it's going to make the playtime that you have is absolutely going to be fantastic. It really is. It's going to make it far more exciting and a better experience for you. So, as you can see here, there is talk of it being a werewolf, and there is talk of it being a certain character who I'll get into in a moment. So some fans may think that it's not Resident Evil because of this, but they want to be leaders in horror gaming, and they have to push the envelope, and they are probably the leaders in horror gaming if you think about it. And they refer back to the history of Resident Evil and where the story started and where it came from, and I think that is really a good thing. And having different characters to actually fight against, I think is more exciting and better. It just makes more sense from my point of view. Others may disagree, but that's absolutely fine. I think it's going to make it more exciting. Now, will die-hard fans like the fact that it looks like there's going to be vampires or possibly even witches within the game? There seems to be like this elitist vampire coven or nest within the main part of the game, within some element of the game. So it's just whether people will actually take to that and like that. They are really scary. They are pretty evil looking, and they're very willing to bite your head off, which is what it is all about. And it's more beasts and more monsters to actually try to avoid and try to kill as well. Whether diehard fans are like that, to be honest, I'm not sure. But I know I would like it. But I think that's just my personal preference. So the other fantastic thing, it's not based in a city or anything like that. It's based on this really, really kind of, it looks a little bit 18th century as such, but it's a very, very snowy horror winter setting. And this castle in particular, it reminds me of something like Dracula's Castle or something like that, or a Hammer House of Horror thing, harking back to the old black and white horror movies. And I really like that element. I grew up on the sofa hiding behind cushions with my dad watching really, really old, obviously I'm a little bit older than some, really, really old Boris Karloff films and Bela Lugosi films. And I love all of that. That black and white just seems to suit it in that sense. But as you can see from this image, it's really, really gothic looking as well. It seems to be perfect to set the game in this setting. And the engine makes everything look so realistic. It is really, really fantastic, especially inside this particular castle. Now, as I've just said, it has this old rustic feel that gives it this mystic air that works perfectly. And all of the little things regarding, like, even if you just look at the landscape, look at the sky, it does have this really, really eerie feel about it. And I think that's a very, very good thing. And some of the characters, like I believe this could be one of the witches, does really, really look very, very spooky, which I think adds to the element of the game and it makes it more scary, which I think is an important element. You can also play in first person mode as well, which is great. So I believe in this shot here in the top, this one here, I think there's a guy just fired a shotgun, if I remember rightly from the demo that I saw. But obviously, as you can see, the graphics are absolutely fantastic. So playing in first person is always really, really exciting. And this will hark back to my very, very early days playing first person games on the likes of Doom and things like that. But this is great, especially with Resident Evil. I think that's a very, very good idea. First person is just something more exciting about it. You really, really get in the zone and lose hours, as everyone always does. So it looks fantastic. The RE engine really makes everything look absolutely brilliant. Now the castle, it does hark back a little bit to Resident Evil 4. I'm not going to give any spoilers away at all. But it does hark back and it does have, a resemblance in the way to Resident Evil 4. But the actual interiors, especially of the castle, are absolutely phenomenal, really pristine, absolutely beautiful, and work really, really well. Now the Gothic European castle, I think that's a great, great touch. So it's not just about the village. You've got the castle as well, which obviously, as you can see from this image, is really, really spooky and scary and adds this real old-fashioned horror element to the game. So nothing like a good creepy castle to really, really make you think that this is a proper horror setting, and it gives off this fantastic vibe. And the vibe is very similar to Resident Evil 4 as well, which I think is a good thing. I think that's a positive thing. If stuff's worked in the past, then why not use it again in the future? It just makes total sense to me. So the interiors are absolutely amazing. This is a shot where in first person, this is his gun here, where he walks through, and this chandelier here just looks absolutely amazing, absolutely brilliant. And look at that set. That is just fantastic. When I see stairs like that in a game, all I want to do is run up the stairs. Right, let's run up the stairs. Let's just go on the hunt. Let's go and find something. I don't know if you get that feeling as well. It's probably a bit like when you see doors, you're a bit unsure. But stairs, I just think, let's go upstairs. I want to have a look. And as it looks absolutely brilliant. And there's a close-up shot of the chandelier. It really, really looks great. When you go close to everything, it just looks amazing. So realistic. This RE engine is really, really top-notch. So, Resident Evil, why is it called, why is it not called Resident Evil 8, and why is it called The Village? Now, they did put, obviously, as I said earlier, they did put the 8 in the title as well, but The Village isn't the main setting. It is the main setting. It's not something where you would stop on the way to something else in your journey. And it's not Resident Evil 8 as such, although it obviously is Resident Evil 8, but they decided to call it Village, and I believe that's what the developers actually said. So there's other characters returning. Chris Redfield is coming back. He's a recurring character in the franchise, and I'm not going to say that he is definitely the werewolf, but I would imagine he's the werewolf. He looks a little bit thicker set, he looks a little bit older, a bit more rugged, and does he look a little bit evil there? Look at that, he's dressed in black for one. He's got a proper frown. Does he look a little bit evil? Could he be a bad guy? I'm not sure. Could he be? He'd make a good bad guy. If he's going to be a villain, then that's great. The other thing is, there's witches, as I said, they're definitely going to be villainous as well, add a spooky element to it. Witches or vampires, I'm not sure, it hasn't been announced whether they're witches or vampires. I know this main, the people online have been calling her the tall vampire, but I believe she does have a name. So is it witches or vampires? Whatever it is, they are really, really scary, which is great. And also, other little bit of evidence here, Ethan Winters, you can play him as a playable character as well. After barely surviving in Resident Evil 8 and going off into the sunset with Mia, you'd never ever want to see another monster again, that character, without a doubt. He's just your normal, everyday, average Joe. Anyway, he's back in Resident Evil Village and is a playable character. So that's Resident Evil Village. I really, really think that this just looks great. It just hits ticks all the boxes for me. I'm a big fan of all kinds of horror like this. I love everything to do with this, and I think this could be an absolutely fantastic game. Comes out on May the 7th. Thanks again for watching. Cheers.